Hallmark is basically shorthand for sentimental, and I think for most, generally associated with Christmas. But for nearly a century, the company has also been celebrating another holiday, Halloween. They produced a ton of merchandise featuring all sorts of spooky scenes and characters, and so today on the video cast, I thought we'd run down the haunted history of Hallmark. We will be covering the 1920s through the 80s, looking at greeting cards, stationery, decorations, and collectibles released by the company for Halloween, mostly through marketing material, commercials and print ads, product packaging. We will also be seeing the roots of the holidays merchandising, the Halloween cards of the early 20th century. As always, I'm your host Brian. Patreon.com/picsandportraits is how you can support the channel. Dozens of exclusive videos, my book, The Nostalgia Economy, $5 gets you access to this and tons more. You can also become a member here on YouTube, give us super thanks, everything helps. So if you like what we do and have the means, please consider supporting us. Now, before we get into Hallmark, I'd like to take a little bit of time for the history of the industry it has become synonymous with. Greeting cards, postcards. Before the telephone, postcards were how people casually communicated. Cards with illustrations were produced, themed around different events or holidays. You could write a short message on the back. Much less formal than a letter, the texts of their day. There was a novelty to them. They were very popular in the early 20th century, as was Halloween. Most of the traditions and aesthetics, iconography that we associate with the holiday were brought to North America in the 19th century by Irish and Scottish immigrants. As these people settled, their customs were adopted or assimilated, and by the 1900s, Halloween was huge. This is reflected in the amount of Halloween postcards available. Halloween rivaled even Christmas in terms of the number of cards that were being produced during this time. Some of the more well-known postcard publishers were John Winch and Raphael Tuck & Sons. Samuel Schmucker illustrated these incredible cards for Winch. Very easily identified style here. Witches, pumpkins, classic Halloween. Ellen Clapsaddle is one of the most famous artists from the golden age of postcards. She worked with Raphael Tuck & Sons and produced some very weird, but very good illustrations for them. Another great artist, Frances Brundage, created some of these Christmassy Halloween cards. Very festive. Kids with black cats was her gimmick. These postcards are amazing and highly collectible, which is within our interests here. So yeah, that is the medium and the world Hallmark grew out of. Some quick history of Hallmark. The company became Hallmark in 1928, but it was founded in 1907 as a postcard company during the industry's boom. In the time between, they shifted into greeting cards, gift wrap, stationery, decorations, which is mostly what we're going to be looking at. Now, this is not going to be exhaustive, and some of the dates aren't going to be exact. I am not an expert, and I'm working with what I found, but the earliest piece of Hallmark Halloween merchandise I could find was this tally card from the 1920s. Absolutely beautiful work here. From around the same time, I also found this greeting card with a pumpkin or jack-o'-lantern. For the 1930s, another greeting card featuring a witch scene at a cauldron. Couldn't really find a whole lot on early Hallmark, unfortunately. We start getting more variety and material in the 40s, this cute cat looking inside a jack-o'-lantern, but it's not until the 1950s that merchandising really took off. This mid-50s decorative haunted house is advertised as being ideal for a table centerpiece or a party or schoolroom decoration. We will be seeing more of these. This cat, also from this period, says the same. It's said to be life-size. That's how they market it, which I got a kick out of. This next piece is great. It's a Halloween party set, which gives you a centerpiece, cards and party favors, and a fortune-telling game. Parties are a big part of Halloween, especially for adults, and much of the merchandise we will be seeing going forward is aimed at decorating for parties. Like honeycomb paper pumpkins, I love these. I actually have something similar in my house right now. The honeycomb style was very popular, and through the 60s we see a lot of different examples of it. As I just mentioned, the haunted house got several different designs. They changed to this pop-up style, which is very cool, kind of like a diorama. These haunted houses got more and more elaborate as time went on. We start getting more variety in the advertising come the 1970s, cozy core scenes of fall, and new designs like this paper skeleton. So much thought and creativity went into making these decorations. I love them. Finally, some video, the 1980s. This commercial from 1987 has some great animation with this skeleton character, sort of rap, or an interpretation of rap, runs through all the different merch and costumes offered that year at Hallmark's Boo Bazaar. That's what they called their Halloween section. This commercial, from around the same time, features a Peter Lorre impression who plugs scratch and sniff pumpkin stickers, pumpkin bean bags, other decorations. We get some fashion in this ad from 1988. Shirts, hats, beautiful boxer shorts, and of course costumes. This next one shows how much people love Halloween. All over a city, people are getting into the spirit. They're getting spooky, wearing costumes, of course purchased at Hallmark. Halloween is big business. People spend a lot of money on costumes, party favors, decorations, candy to hand out to kids, trick-or-treaters, or for themselves. Americans alone spent over $10 billion on Halloween in 2022. So yeah, that is how Halloween has been merchandised by Hallmark. There is a lot more than I showed here. Again, this was not meant to be exhaustive. I am no expert, so let me know if I missed anything. Shout out to the Halloween Retrospect. It was an invaluable resource for putting this together. I'll post a link in the description if you want to see more from them. Definitely worth checking out if you have any interest in this kind of stuff. Same with our recent video on the fast food history of Halloween. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share, and again, if you have the means, please consider supporting us on Patreon. Nightmare Core 2022 is dropping tomorrow. It's a highlight every year. Very good this year. Feature film, Century of Schlock, tons of other exclusive videos, my book, The Nostalgia Economy. Get access to all this and help keep us going. Patreon.com/picsandportraits. As always, thank you so much for your interest in this channel, and thanks for watching. See you in the future.